Right, welcome back. We continue talking the politics of Lesotho as the country heads to elections. Seabata Motsamai is the Executive Director of the Lesotho Council of NGOs, LCN, an umbrella for the civil society organizations in Lesotho focusing on governance and development. And earlier on, we just had in conversation with the Socialist Revolution Party of Lesotho, its leader, Advocate Teboho Mojapela. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us, Mr. Motsamai. I believe you had the benefit of listening in on that conversation. Are you in agreement with some of the sentiments as expressed by the SRP leader and his point of view of where the politics of Lesotho are at the moment?
Thanks very much, and good evening to you and to the viewers. Perhaps there is one element that I will take out of the conversation that we had with him. One is the issue of poverty and also the issue of the rampant corruption in the country in terms of the perceptions. That one is there in the views of Lesotho, because poverty, it is high. And the reason why the poverty is on increase is because the targeted programs by anybody in terms of the political parties, in terms of the focus on policy, they seems to be not favoring the poor people in terms of generation of employment. We have high unemployment in the country. We are not be able to deal with the preventive diseases. Those are the general issues that are there in the market at the moment.
And if you could just give us a sense of the extent of unemployment in Lesotho, and I'd imagine like anywhere else, the youth are high up in the category of those without jobs, those who are looking for work. But just give us a sense of how this is experienced on a day-to-day in the lives of Lesotho. I mean, we know that there are also a large number of child-headed households. So how is this playing out?
Yeah, the youth are also the large percentage of people that have been affected by unemployment in the country, as evidenced by saying each and every year the graduates from the tertiary education there are many, more than 3,000 per se, and then the absorption of them into the employment is not working in their favor. For example, the government is the most employer at the moment in the country. The second will be the textile industry. But if you can go there in the textile industry, you'll find that people are still queuing, looking for the job. Others are working on the part-time, and then you go out, you can make an application, an advertisement for a job. You'll find that for one position, you can even have almost like 500 or 600 applicants that are there. And like as we are talking now, for those that are in a civil society who are supposed to deliver the voter education in the next 2 weeks from now, if you can see how the number of people that are looking for a job, at least for this part-time, for these NGOs, there are huge numbers really, and perhaps that's where the challenge is. And maybe there are a number of factors that are contributing into this. Perhaps mostly it's our education system that is not meeting the needs in terms of towards the generation of employment, and also in terms of the policy lead from the authorities in terms of saying, for the next coming 2 years or 30 years, this is the priorities in terms of manufacturing that we are going to lead into. So you'll find that unless we have a grand strategy that is able to absorb our youth, and then that is why they will be involved in the crime. They will be also involved in terms of drugs abuse and so on, as you know, the social ills that we can talk about. So really the unemployment is the major cause for the young people, and then if they are more desperate, then they will find other ways of the survival of the coping mechanism. And another evidence that you can look at it as we are talking about politics now. You see, we have almost 65 political parties that are registered with the Independent Electoral Commission. And out of that, those who managed to contest, there are about 60. But the total number of political parties in Lesotho is more than 130. While Lesotho is having about 1.3 million voters registered. You can see that people see politics as an attraction for employment. There's no longer the issue of coming into politics for service. They are coming to the politics because of the proximity to power and resources. I think that's what we can say, that are the causes of unemployment and poverty. People see that, when you go to politics, you are not even asking any qualification. The only thing is just come up with registration of 500 people, register from the law office, and then go to the IC. Then you can contest or you get some allowances for campaigning.
So share with us your perspective on the various political parties, their track records. They're obviously the more established parties. Have they done much to root out corruption? As you heard Advocate Mojapela speaking earlier on about more than 6 billion rands lost to corruption. What about the new parties? Are they making the right noises in how to deal with corruption? Especially if you say it seems like people are going into politics because of self-aggrandizement or the politics of the stomach.
Yeah, perhaps I need to make a little qualification on the 6 billion that we always hear. You see, it's not necessarily the issue of taking cash or a misappropriation. Sometimes the missing documents. You may find that, the procedure of procurement, somehow you may find that you have lost the request. And then the auditor, when it comes, will say, because you missed with this, therefore this cost is ineligible. And therefore now when you put together, some of them will go there. Some of them, yes, I can agree that because you don't have much of investigation to say we have this number of accused out of the missing of 6 billion that we are talking about. Really, some of them is the pure recording. It's the pure recording that we might have. But that, having said that, I'm not saying that there is no perception of corruption, because even if you look at the study of the barometer, they will indicate that no, Lesotho in terms of corruption is rife. The perception on the corruption is rife in the country. Also, the South African peer review mechanism, they also point you to that fact in terms of that. But these others really that are related to the audit, perhaps it might be the loss of the paper trail that we are talking about.
Okay.
Political parties, really, majority of them, it's the key issue where they are talking about they are going to fight the issue of nepotism, they are going to fight issues of corruption, they are going to talk about unemployment. There is a number of key issues that they are talking. By the way, unlike other previous elections, really, on this one, in terms of the content, is different from the other years where parties will now insult each other. That at least have subsidized, as if I can say.
All right.
You don't hear much of that.
I'm afraid we have run out of time, but we thank you, Seabata Motsamai, Lesotho Council of NGOs, speaking to us about their viewpoints on the upcoming elections and some of the core issues that the electorate will be voting on.